welcome back to my channel. Today I'm getting into how to tie a twilly on any type of handbag. I have previous videos on how to tie your twilly. I have one for 15 ways to tie it on your handbag, which I'll link up here, and right after that the link will come for 15 more ways to tie a twilly in like different ways that are like not on a handbag. But I thought, you know, that video has been a while and it's time for an update. And I don't think that I showed enough variety in the first one, though it covers more of like your basic bows and ties. So if you want to know how to do those, definitely watch that video first and then come back here. This one I'm going to kind of expand upon that. You're going to see some of the same ties, but in slightly different ways. And each tie I do is going to be on a different handbag. And by the way, if you're new here, hi, my name is Morgan. I make videos about luxury handbags, fashion, and lifestyle. So if that's your thing, please subscribe and turn on notifications. I upload twice a week and I would love to have you here. Now I'm going to get into a little bit more about twillies and then 15 ways to tie it on any type of handbag. First, I want to say, I know that twilly is an Hermes term. Every brand has their own term, so it's just easier for me to use the term twilly in this video versus bandeau, twilly, wrappy, skinny scarf, thin scarf. Like, they all have their own names, but what I mean is a thin scarf like this. And there are so many ways you can use this item. It's probably one of the most versatile and useful designer items in my collection. And it's also a great way to add a brand item into your collection at a lower price point. I do have a video about the exact twillies in my collection, and I'll link that above here in case you want to check it out. But I wanted to mention first, before I started tying on the bags, a little bit about twilly maintenance and some things you need to know before you add a twilly to your collection. One important thing to note is that these are silk and they can get pulled. So you have to go into using a twilly knowing that it's probably going to get a little bit of damage and wear and tear, especially if you use it daily on your bag. For me, I kind of like to think of this as my pretty insurance policy on my designer handbags. So especially light colored bags where you're touching the handle a lot, if you've got creams or makeup or anything and you're not very careful about making sure that's all off of your hands before you touch the handle, it can discolor the handle over time. But I would rather discolor, you know, a $200 to $300 twilly than I would a $3,000 to $5,000 bag. So, you know, it's all relative. I know they are expensive, and I don't think of these as throwaway items. That's not what I mean by that. This can also be sent to the dry cleaner. A lot of stains can be removed. It is important that if you are going to get one twilly and use it regularly, that you send it off to the dry cleaner every few months and just keep up that maintenance of your twillies. So I just kind of send mine off as and when I feel like either I've used them a whole lot, because I have quite a big collection, so I rotate them depending on the bag. If you just have one, definitely every few months just send it off to the dry cleaner, let them do a good thorough clean, and that will really help prolong the life of your twilly. I also want to say that a lot of mine are light colored. That's because I have light colored bags. If you are not as careful with your bag and you're using a twilly, you know, to protect your handle more, I would say go with darker colors. I think that's kind of important if this is really going to be to protect your bag fully. Another thing I want to mention is to keep them looking nice like this, invest in a steamer. I'm not sure if you can iron this. I have been using a steamer since university. I've had many over my lifetime, and travel ones, stand-up ones. I'll have a few of my favorites linked below in the description, but a steamer is just such a great way to maintain not only your twillies, but just all of your clothes in your closet. So it's really worth the investment, because when you're wrapping this, it is gonna get like crinkled and it can get creases. Just using a steamer is a great way to get out those wrinkles before you wrap it again, so it looks really nice and crisp on your bag. Now that we've gotten through a little bit more about the twilly itself, I'm going to scoot you in to where it's just the view of my hands and the bags and show you a very detailed view of how to wrap a twilly on any bag. Let's start with a tiny or like nano bag, because the handle is so small. The wrap, you have to pay particular attention on how much you put on the length. So you're gonna start by finding the middle, pinch it here, and just start wrapping either side. I'm gonna speed through the wrap. The only part that you really need to note is that you wrap quite close to where you wrapped before to remove some of the length from the twilly. You just leave this one down here as you wrap the other side. So make sure they're about the same length when you finish, And then you're just going to take them and tie in the middle like so. Put another knot in it. Now, of course, you could leave it hanging down like this. It looks quite cute. But I think the best way so that the ties are out of the way is to make your little bunny ears over under, pull through and adjust. And then you have a really cute, small, tiny bow. And this keeps it out of the way of the flap of the bag. I really like this option as a cute and girly look. The handle is so small anyways that you still have a good grip on here. Of course, you can always still attach the strap and use this as a crossbody or a top handle, and it just looks very dainty and cute. The next thing I want to show you is how to like mismatch your twillies where they still coordinate on a top handle. I think the important tip here is to pick something that has coordinating colors, or at least one color of the design that matches with the second twilly. You don't always have to have the same two twillies for a top handle, but I think it's really nice that if you coordinate at least one color within the two, it gives it a more cohesive look, especially if the twilly has the bag color in it as well. So I wanted to show you how to do a wrap where you have a really nice design at the end, so you want to showcase that. So you're going to start from the top and make sure it's even. Just check here. And then you're gonna pinch and wrap each side, which I'll just speed through. When you get to the end, you're going to keep a finger here, bring this around the back, and pull down. So you have to fidget with the end just a little bit to make sure that the knot is tight and that the curl goes to where it makes this little bubble so the design shows flat at the end. And then I'm just gonna do the other side. So there you go. Now you have the design showing really nice and flat. Show you a slightly different wrap on the back because that is the side that's gonna go towards your body, and you don't necessarily want your twillies like catching on your clothes or anything. If we flip it to the back, do the same type of wrap. So find your middle, but this time we're just gonna wrap it a lot tighter, where there's more overlap, and when we get to the end it's going to be a little bit more difficult to make that knot because we're not going to have as much left. Here you go, you make your knot again just like the front, and you can even take this tail and wrap it around the back and just get that corner inside the wrap here. This is a little difficult, especially with my long nails, and takes a little fidgeting, but just grab that corner there and tie it off. So it's a very tight wrap, there's nothing hanging down, and it's really out of the way for the side that goes on your body. And I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just a really great way that when this side is next to your clothes, it's out of the way, the ends are not getting caught on anything, and you have your nice showpiece on the front. So now I want to show you a wrap specifically for the Capucines. It has this little loop on the side, so there's some nice things you can do with this here that don't hinder the function of getting in and out of the bag, because if you do the traditional ties and leave them to the front, they can just get moved around. I want to show you a way to make this a little more functional but still beautiful. So if we turn to the side, we want to start by leaving just a little bit of extra room here and then bringing this over at the top of the handle. I'll go through the loop here, just pull and adjust if it gets pulled a little too much. And then you're gonna wrap this handle. Now mine is the MM size, so it's quite a lot of handle to wrap. If you have a smaller size Capucines, this will have a much nicer, tighter wrap. Once I get to the end, it's a little bit short. I would like to have this a little bit longer, but you're gonna take this and tie a knot. Use the longer side to make the knot. I think that'll save you a little bit on the length that's not as long. Here, I want to fix this where this one hangs down, and see it comes to about the length of the bag. Takes a little adjusting there. You want to get the knot kind of underneath this loop. But you can put either side. You can make it match, or you can put it here and have a little mismatched look. The idea is that you have these two nice little tails on the side rather than on the front. This is one that on the smaller sizes, it'll really look amazing. And then if you get it just right on the big one, it's a nice little side design rather than doing something that gets in the way of getting in and out of the bag. Now I want to show you a wrap for a larger bucket bag style. I want to show you how to add some detail to the top of the strap. Now this one, you want to again find the middle here and just start wrapping one side at a time. I'll speed through the wrap. You've seen it before. Now when you get to the end, you're gonna make your traditional knot. So of course you could loop it through some hardware here, but not all bucket bags have that hardware depending on the brand that you have. So I wanted to show you something that isn't like brand specific. And then I like to leave the little design on the end. So you have that here. Now we're gonna do the other side. Get to this end, it's a little bit trickier. I would say put the handle up like this so you can understand the knot. Like, it's a little difficult for me to tie it upside down. And you have this like cute little wrap on your strap. I think you'll see it better on the mod shots. It's really kind of hard to show in such a close-up way. I think this is great when you have a Twilly that has these little animations at the end. I think it's quite cute to show it off. Now I want to show you how to turn a clutch that has the rings into a crossbody. Now this does come with a chain crossbody strap, but sometimes it's nice to add a little something to the bag. So you're just going to pull it through here and you're gonna leave quite a bit of room. So this is a Twillion. It's an extra long Twilly from Hermes. So you can afford to leave a little bit hanging down. Make your knot and keep a nice little tail on the end. And just do the same on the other side so that you're going through the right way on the ring. Now you have a long crossbody strap. A really cute style to bring a little bit of the silk print scarf to your outfit. Of course, once you get this on, it's really good to adjust the length. Just loosen your knot and kind of pull until the crossbody is at the length that's perfect for you. Now I want to show you a simple and chic way to tie a Twilly on your shoulder bag. Just going to make a knot here. This is really hard to hold this bag up and tie at the same time, but let me see if I can do it. Yeah, so just make your knot on the side of the strap, and then I like to make just a very simple bow, but where the tails are longer than the top. So it gives that little like tiny bow feel. You could also tie the bow here on the front as well if you like, if you have this kind of hardware. But I think this is a little more universal if you're going to put it on just any shoulder bag. For this one first, we're going to make our loop at the top. Your midpoint. Leave enough where you could grab the handle, so maybe about there. You're gonna take both ends, bring it around, and pull it through like this type of knot. So as you're adjusting, just make sure you can fit your hand here and pull it really tight. If you have a longer Twilly, you can just put this around the sides and tie it underneath the flap. But this one's a little bit short, so what we're gonna do is run it through the holes in the top here, on either side, and then underneath the flap, just tie and secure the ends in a double knot. So now you close the bag, adjust the top. You have a really cute for evening top handle tie on your mini bag or clutch. I would definitely recommend a slightly longer Twilly. The Coach ones are quite short, and I think it's a really cute way that I haven't seen people wear before. So now I want to show you how to tie the Twilly onto a tote. I don't really think it's very productive to wrap these handles because the Twilly gets loose and falls off very easily. But if you just want to add a decoration to your bag, I think this looks super cute, just tied on the front. So just make a knot first in the middle. We're gonna make a double bow because if you leave a single bow and let it hang down, you don't really want it to hang down past the bottom of your bag. So the first bow is gonna be a bit longer. So keep your bunny ears longer, over, under, and adjust. Now not quite this long, but I think that's about a good length. And then you're gonna make tiny bunny ears, like as small as you can. I think this is much easier also with the thinner Twilly, but I wanted to show the one that matches on this bag. And then do your over under, pull, And now you have to adjust. This one's a little bit more fussy to get the loops to look perfect. But once you've fussed with it enough, this is how the bow looks. Keeps the ends up and away and your twilly from getting damaged, that it just adds a little something to your tote. Now you wanna make sure that this bow is gonna go on the front side of your shoulder, just so that the twilly doesn't get like smushed and crushed while you're wearing it. Now I wanna show you a couple of ways to tie it on a classic flap. First I'll use this one and then I'll show you on my leather version. So open up your flap and run your twilly underneath the flap. Close your bag, and then just make sure that your ends are even. You might have to pull it and adjust it just a little bit. Tie a knot in the center. Make sure it's like a double knot. You want to make sure this is pretty tight across the bag too, so keeping your thumb here while you tighten really helps with that. And then you're going to make your bunny ears again. And then just adjust until you have a nice little bow. You can open it up again and kind of adjust it to the side very gently. Close your bag, and then you have a nice little bow to the side of the classic flap. Now I want to show you my favorite functional way to tie a twilly on a classic flap. Open this up, pull this through one of the loops here, and do the same with the other end. Now adjust this strap to make a handle at whatever length that you want it to be. And then I'm going to flip the bag over just to show you. And then you're going to tie a knot on the inside and then double knot it, making sure that that length is retained on the other side. Make sure it's nice and tight, and you can tuck these straps in between the two flaps. Then when you close the bag and pull this up, you have a nice top handle for your classic flap. Of course you can do this with a chain and a chain shortener, but this is a nice way to give a detail if you still want to have the length of the strap so you can put it on your shoulder, but also have a top handle. You can just have it hang down in the front, or if you put it in the back hole here for the top handle, it'll hang down in the back if you're using the shoulder strap. So this is a really nice way to just add a little addition to your classic flap. So now I'm going to use a twillion, which is the extra long Hermes Twilly, to add a strap to a woven bag. Bring this through, and you want a good amount of length, because what you're going to do now is go over under, make a nice little weave on the side. This really depends on how your straw bag is, like how you can do this weave. But any straw bag that has this kind of open texture, you can make this for. Now, the last one is gonna go at the very end, and you're gonna bring this up to the top. You can adjust this just a little bit, but be very careful. Adjust it one loop at a time, so you're not like pulling the scarf and scraping it. And then here at the top, you're gonna tie this into a double knot. And then again, just adjust the loops just a tiny bit where this is a little more inside. So now you have one side of the strap here, and you're going to do the same on the other side. Just making sure that this stays flat. Little bit of that, and then I'm just gonna make my double knot again, and then you have a strap on your straw bag. I love this crossbody. I think having that scarf across the front is a great way to use your Hermes Twilly and show it off, because I feel like the beautiful prints aren't always able to be shown when you like wrap it on a handle. So I really like showing off these bright and vibrant prints for the summer. So now I want to show you how to tie a twilly on a Fendi Baguette. Mine is a vintage one, and the strap is a little bit wonky, so this will kind of help cover that up a bit. But on this, I really want to focus on a trick when I get to the ends. I'll show you, but we're going to do the standard wrap. So I'm just going to speed through that here, starting from the top and finding your midpoint. You're going to wrap each side. we've gotten to the end and we're making our knot. When you pull it through with this buckle here, you want to take the end after you've made the knot and just pop it through the side of this buckle. Doing this will keep the little tie flat. Now you want to make sure that closes and it's just to the side so this isn't pinching the twilly. And I'll just do the other side. So now your ends are stuck through here. They're not just flopping around, because these can get kind of like twisted easily because of the knot at the end and how long this handle is. So I think this just helps keep the twilly in place. For these two, I wanted to show you the difference in how using a Louis Vuitton Bandeau and an Hermes Twilly can be, because it's quite a big difference in length, and it's really important to consider the size of your handle when wrapping these. Show you how you can tie different lengths on a bigger top handle. Start with the Hermes Twilly. This one, it's impossible to do the bow method I'm going to show you with this one. So I'm just going to show you, if you do have an Hermes Twilly and you want to use it on a top handle like this, how it can look. This is the classic Hermes way of wrapping, and what they'll probably show you in store if you buy a Birkin or a Kelly and a Twilly. When you get to the end, you can see it doesn't have a lot at the end to really stick out. So there's not much you can really do with this size Twilly. And I'm wrapping it pretty generously as I can. So you don't even really get the design of the horse at the end of this, because it's just so small what you can see at the end that you just get the hooves. So I really think that the Hermes Twilly is more suited to a smaller bag, but I wanted to show you that if you do have that in your collection and your goal is to just protect the handle, this does the job. It keeps it neat, it's out of the way. If you don't want anything elaborate, this is perfect. But let me show you what you can do if you get a longer Twilly. Leave room at the end and bring this over to the other side. Now, since this has the hardware, I'm going to pull the Twilly through the loop. Now, I've done this method before on my other video, so this won't be really new to you guys, but I really thought it was very good to show the contrast of the two together. And basically you just want to pull this through, making sure that you have enough at the end to create a bow, and then you're just going to start your wrap. I'm at the end. You can tie the knot. You can bring this through the loop again here. There's nothing wrong with that, but I was running a little bit out of length there. You're gonna make your bunny ears. Over under and pull through. And this gives you a very small and tight bow, but a bow. Lengths were a little off. If I would have adjusted, you could make the lengths a little more perfect. Just wanted to show you the difference. It gives you a lot more options and more mileage than the Hermes Twilly does, but this does give a very nice, tight, thin wrap to it that protects the handle. Both of them look really nice on, and you can't go wrong with either way. It just depends on how you want to wrap your Twilly. Now I want to show you how you can tie your Twilly on your Picotin. Of course you can wrap the handles. They're a little fussy throughout the day. I find you have to kind of rewrap them, but this is a really super cute way that I think is shown on quite a lot of Picotins, but I wanted to show you how to do it. You take these front two loops, pull your Twilly through, make sure it's even, and then you just begin twisting. And make sure it's a pretty like tight twist. And then maybe when you get to about here-ish, make your two bunny ears over under and pull through. Now throughout the day, if this gets untwisted like this, you're gonna have to retwist it. I think it could be fine if you're not moving this around too much. This is how the bow looks on the front of a Picotin. Guys, I'm so sorry I forgot to show you how to tie this one, so I'm actually going to make a TikTok/Reels posted on both. I completely forgot to film it when I filmed the other section, so pop over to my Instagram or my TikTok. I'll have both linked below if you want to see how to make this little handle for your top handle. It does require 2 twillies. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please give it a like. It really helps out with my channel. And don't forget to check out my other Twilly videos on my channel. I will have the playlist linked up here. I've got them all neatly packaged for you so you can check out all the videos there. There's so much you can do with these Twillies that I hope you got some inspiration today. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram to see how I style my bags with my Twillies, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!